The title of our next guest's book says it all. Shirley Render is the author of No Place for a Lady, the story of Canadian women pilots, 1928 to 1992. Shirley knows of what she speaks. She's a pilot herself and also inducted into the Canadian Aviation Hall of Fame. Shirley, there was a time, especially during World War I and leading up to about 1928, when it was assumed that women were just not fit to fly. It's crazy to think that that was the thought.
That's absolutely true. And when World War II came along, that feeling was carried over. Women were not encouraged.
Women were allowed to fly during World War II, but they weren't allowed to fly the fighter planes into battle. What were some of the responsibilities?
What happened in England was that England ran out of pilots to deliver planes to the various areas where they were taking off. And they didn't want to use the RCAF pilots to simply deliver. They wanted to use them to use the planes to fight with the planes. So this is when they came up with the idea to have ferry pilots. And it was the ferry pilots. They only allowed 4 to begin with. But when they turned out to be so good, they ended up setting up their own schools so that they would be able to train them. And again, when they started off, they said, oh, you can only fly a light single-engine plane, such as a Moth. Well, I could fly a Moth without any training. And it was when the pilots, the first 4 women, showed that, yes, they could fly a Moth, that the men realized that really these women, who were all qualified pilots, many of them who were already instructors, many of them who had more hours than the men who were joining, they should be able to fly various types of airplanes. And that's what made this whole thing, the ATA, the Air Transport Auxiliary, so incredible.
Shirley, one of the women that was a member of the ATA was Marion Orr, who used to teach out of the St. Catharines Flying Club at one time. She flew over 40 different types of planes from Britain into the front lines to drop off for the pilots there to fly into battle.
Marion was about an inch taller than I was. And as one of the women said to me, I don't think it was Marion, she said, sometimes my biggest problem was trying to climb into the plane with my parachute on and everything I was carrying.
Vi Milstead and Marion Orr, both after the war, became very successful instructors, owning their own schools as well, training other pilots, including women, how to fly.
Exactly. Flying for Marion was her whole life. And she was incredible. She really was. She worked so hard to do all the things that she did. And the school that she created, she actually helped dig out her own airfield. And her story is really incredible. She went on to become the first woman to have a helicopter license also. But everything that she did, quite often had to struggle to push down some of the barriers. But she did. She didn't sort of say, oh, woe is me. She went ahead and did it.
Shirley, thank you so much for sharing your enthusiasm for all of these stories with us today. We appreciate your help.